Welcome to Pen Tool Photoshop. In this tutorial, I'll cover what you do with the path and the different ways you would import that into InDesign. There's a few different options. We can save it as a layer mask, we can save it as a clipping path, or we can just leave it as a path. And I'll go through all these three different options and how we go about saving that. So I still have this file here open. So it's path 1. So the first step we'll cover is saving it as a clipping path. So I've got the path, go here, clipping path, path 1. So I can save this image to the desktop as a JPEG. Hit save. So I can save it as JPEG 9, probably the lowest setting I'd want to go to retain some detail, and a JPEG will retain this path. So hit OK, and now that will save as a JPEG with a clipping path. So the second option is I can just save it as without a clipping path, so just as a regular path. So I can save that, but not a clipping path. It's just a regular path. It's still as a JPEG. Save that to the desktop. So the other way would be to command and then click on the path. It loads it as a selection. So under select, I can choose modify feather. So I'll give it a bit of a feather, 2 pixels. And then in the layers palette, click on add mask. So now I have a mask. So in this case, I need to save it. So what I'm doing is using the shortcut here for save as. So command shift S to the desktop. So I can save that as a Photoshop file, or I can save it as a TIFF. So Photoshop file would just save. There's no options for Photoshop. With a TIFF, I hit save. I normally embed the color profile, completely different tutorial outside of this, the scope of this tutorial, but it's always very good to embed a color profile for color consistency. So I hit save. So the options for a TIFF, it always want to include some LSW compression. Obviously, I want to make sure save transparency is on. This is just telling you that some programs don't support transparency. All the information about image pyramid and all the other details, if you visit pentoolphotoshop.com, it goes into all the details about what all these settings mean. So I want a Mac, and I want zip compression. So I want a small file, LSW and zip compression, make it a much smaller file. So hit OK. The main one's save transparency. It's just going to make it a much larger file. So I've got the 3 versions saved now. That's the TIFF. And I'll click over to InDesign. So I have a blank document open. So I want to place the images into InDesign. So I press Command D. The first image I want to place is the transparent background. That's the TIFF. It doesn't have a clipping path activated. So hit Open. Click and drag. And you can see it's cut out. We go View Overprint Preview. It's a nice soft edge, exactly as you see it in Photoshop. The next image I'll place will be the clipping path. So hit Open, place that image. So you can see that's the clipping path, really sharp edge, whereas the layer mask, really nice and soft feather. So sometimes a hard edge is fine, hard edge objects, but most people like a layer mask. The advantages and disadvantages are all listed on pentoolphotoshop.com. You might want the sharp look. And you can see up here, there's a bit of whether I've cut in or not too far, and how it compares to up here on this one. It's a much more natural sort of look with a layer mask. The last option was to place in the image that does not have a clipping path, and it's a JPEG. Hit Open. So place this image. So you can see it's not cut out. The purpose of this, though, is you might want to partially poke out part of the image. So what I can do is duplicate this box. So I can copy, paste in place. So now I have 2, like that. I can go into Object, Clipping Path, Options, Photoshop Path, and now I can choose the actual path, Photoshop Path. Hit OK, and now that path is applied. So when I go to the image below and move the box down, so you can see the path is applied, and I can see the path comes out of the box. So this is also where you've got to be careful as to how far you come in. So yeah, it notches in a little bit. If you know it's a partial and partially poking out of a box, that's what you've got to be careful about, how far you come in. You can see it's a really nice effect. And that's how in magazines you partially poke out the image. You can do it with a TIFF and a PSD file. It's just a different process I won't go into. You can move this box all the way around. Also in Photoshop, I just talked about how you can put a feather on this. It's really, I don't recommend it. It's not really the greatest option. If you go into Object, Effects, Basic Feather, Preview, so you can start to see the effect come in. Just play around with these settings. Really depends on the circumstance. So that's how to place the final path to layer mask, or path to clipping path, or just regular path in InDesign. I'll see you in the next tutorial.